Hey,
Hi.
hi guys. My name's Kaylee. I work for QuiGig, and this is Emad, our CEO, and also a structural engineer who works with our structural engineering company, licensed structural engineers. He is going to be answering some questions today with me about frequently asked questions we get for this company. So the first thing I was wondering is, what should I expect from an inspection from a structural engineer? Does it take a long time? Do you have to tear up floorboards? Do I need to be there for the inspection?
Okay, thanks, Kelly. So let's just go through those questions one at a time. So, okay, what to expect from an structural inspection? You know, a lot of our clients are residential clients who need some structural engineering report. A lot of them have not heard about this before, so they have no clue what it's all about. So, a structural inspection is typically around 1 hour work on site. So we like to have access to entire house, inside, outside, all the rooms, even the attic. When there's an attic, we like to be able to see the attic. We like to be able to walk around the building. You know, so like there are some gates, some backyard. So we like to be able to cross all the doors and gates outside the building. Um, and it's usually a mix of visual inspection and some measurements. So visual inspection is a big part of it, and measurements is also an important element in our structural inspection reports and analysis. Another thing about the inspection reports is we don't have to damage anything often. We don't have to uh, even though like a lot of time there's drywall, there's sheetrock, there's ceiling, which are really not the actual structure. The structure is the skeleton behind these, but in order for us to understand the structure has the integrity, we could use some pattern of symptoms that we visually identify when inspecting the house, and put together some recommendations or some analysis based on what we see. So it's something that is uh, typically uh, minimal basically consequences for the structure when we do the inspection in terms of the work that we need to do to get access to what we need, but it usually gives very important insights about how the structure is performing and if there are issues that need some work regarding, for example, the foundation or the structure framing, to bring it up to the code or make it a safe structure against potential major events like hurricanes, storms, earthquakes, or other environmental events.
Okay, well, I'm sure that'll be a relief to a lot of people with homes that we're not going to come in and tear apart their house.
Yes.
So the next question is going to be for a lot of the design work we do, we design blueprints, of course, for homes. A lot of questions we get is once it's complete, will the engineer still be involved in the project? When they go hire a contractor, will they still be in contact with them if they have any questions, or is that just it?
Okay. So so technically, and maybe I can add a little bit into that question. So that because people, a lot of the jobs that people are having, remodeling or innovations or even new construction, the reason they contact us because they need the paperwork for the permitting. And so the process is typically, okay, you get the engineering plans and then you obtain your permit, and then you get the contractor to do the work, and then you get the city or the permit office inspectors to come and check that you're doing the work right in several inspection steps until the job is done. Now, are we necessarily going to be part of that process after we deliver our blueprints? No. Is it possible for us to be? Of course, if the client needs us to be. So, for example, sometimes clients want the engineer to be involved, so they will certify the work done by the contractor was according to the plans. Okay, so that's one case that people contact us. Sometimes they have some issues. I've had cases where the contractor was not able to do the work according to the plans. Now they have made some changes, some alterations of the work versus the plan. So they want the engineer to be engaged and certify that the new changes are acceptable, or actually provide feedback and give them directions. And there are also times that people are just in a rush and they just don't want to wait for the city inspector. They say, okay, can I have the engineer come and give me a letter? I'm doing the work up to the code and or up according to the plans. And then they take a sign and seal letter. So they can give it to the permit office and they say, yes, you didn't inspect it, but our engineer did. And here is a sign and seal letter that says the work was done right. So those are the kind of the services that we do offer, but that's usually not automatically part of the proposal that we send out for the engineering plans. That's really some add-ons that clients may ask for, from time to time.
Gotcha. So it's really up to them and how much they trust the contractor at the end of the day.
It's partly that. It's also partly because the permit offices sometimes are slow and they just want to get things done faster. So they bring in an engineer as opposed to the city or the permit office inspector to certify the work. So that they could move forward quickly and get the job done.
So on that same topic, what is the difference between a general home inspection and a structural home inspection?
Okay, so it's kind of similar to the difference between like your family physician versus a specialist. So when you bring in a home inspector, they will usually look at everything, including like the lighting, including, if there is any damages to the like glasses or there's plumbing issues or some other, non-structural matters. But when it comes to structural matters, the home inspectors are usually only looking at a very high level visual, and they do check some measurements and do the foundation inspections to some extent, but usually what happens, the home inspector is not licensed to provide technical feedback about the structure. So what they do is whenever they see some symptoms that are concerning, they make a recommendation in the report that the client should bring a structural engineer. I've had clients who don't even do the full typical home inspection. They just bring a structural engineer and they bring a couple of specialists because they say, I already know that I want to make sure the structure is safe. But the structuralist engineer is a certified, a licensed, someone who has education, has, some professional experience and has gone through a very through, licensing, it's a exam that they have to take. There's some other stuff that they have to have. They have to have a number of qualifications to be able to get that license and the seal of the state, which means they're qualified to technically provide information that is directly related to the welfare and health of the public, and safety of the public. And that's what we do, when I mention health, because even like any building, we're talking about from structural safety to some other aspects that are related to the safety and welfare of the public. The structural engineer is licensed and is certified and is qualified by the state and authorized by the state to have a pass-fail opinion about that the structure, which is a very high responsibility of a structural engineer.
Okay, gotcha. So just like you said, it's a little bit more specialized than your regular home inspection.
Absolutely, yes.
Wonderful. So it looks like that's all the time we have for questions today. But if you
Okay.
guys bring these videos, feel free to leave comments asking your own questions, and Emad would be happy to answer them and make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable having a structural engineer come visit your home.
Thank you, Kelly, and I appreciate your good questions, and I appreciate everyone's, bringing these questions to you so we could have these, hopefully these videos that are going to help our customers.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.